Hair holds memory. Not just the kind of memory you think about, but the kind your body feels. The type of memory that shows up in your roots before it ever reaches your mind. I've changed my hair so many times I've lost count. Not out of vanity, but out of need. Need to shift, to forget, to become someone else for a little while. Each style has held a chapter, a relationship, a season. Like braids when I needed protection, blonde when I needed boldness, and a buzz cut when I wanted quiet. Caring for natural hair is work, but it's intimate work. I'm learning that detangling isn't just about knots in my hair. Sometimes it's about knots in my spirit. Sometimes the most tender thing I can do for myself is massage oil into my scalp and remind myself, you're safe now, girl. You're good. I didn't know it then, but those hair days with my mom, towel around my neck, the smell of burnt hair from the blow dryer, those were the days I was learning what love feels like. She never really said much, but her hands said everything. When she parted my hair, she was teaching me how to divide what's worth holding on to and what can be let go. When she braided it, she was showing me that the structure can be soft. Sometimes we chase reinvention like it's salvation. But now that I sit and think, and I've been doing that a lot, is sitting and thinking, I realize I was never lost. I was never actually lost. I just forgot who I was when no one needed me to perform. This hairstyle, the one I'm returning to, is the one I wore when I felt most like myself, when love was easy and mornings were slow. Wash days aren't just routine, they're ritual. Especially when you've spent years rushing, surviving, skipping your own care. There's something radical about slowing down and doing your hair with intention. Not for a date, not for, work, not for aesthetics, just because you deserve softness. Period. Curls need water and sealant, not heavy products, just layers of love. The lock method changed my life. Liquid, oil, cream, simple but sacred. And protective styles, they aren't just about looking cute, although they are. They're also ancestral wisdom. They're our mothers and aunties saying, rest your hair, rest yourself. When I tuck my hair away, I'm making space for growth, not just length, but peace. Because that putting your hair up in a protective style for a little bit definitely takes one thing off your plate that you need to do in the morning. So love that. Sometimes I get it wrong. I try a new style and I hate it. I've cried over breakage. I've burnt my ends and felt ugly and undone. But I've learned that even in those moments, I'm still worthy of gentleness and I'm learning that beauty doesn't have to mean performance. It can mean presence, you know? So that's what today is, and thank you for being here with me. Today isn't a transformation, it's a return. That's kind of been the nature of my content lately. Today is a reminder that some of the most powerful versions of me don't need a makeover. And for you as well. They just need to be invited back in. There's almost like a strange sense of grief that comes with letting go of the versions of myself I wore just to survive. The girl who straightened her curls for acceptance. The woman who covered her crown when the world felt too heavy. The nights I pulled my hair into a bun so tight it mirrored the tension in my chest. I've spent years confusing adaptability with authenticity, becoming what was needed rather than who I truly am. But now I'm practicing softness with myself, with the past versions that got me here. Every coil I define is a quiet rebellion. Every parting line is a boundary reclaimed. And I think about how we've been taught to only show our glow-ups, you know, like the big cuts, the big chops, the dramatic dye jobs, the crazy transformations. But rarely do we show what it means to return, you know, to go back to a look that doesn't scream new necessarily, but might whisper, you know me. I've been here all along. You know, we all have that hairstyle that we go to that we know deep in our hearts is a real, true representation of us on the inside. Don't get me wrong, I love, and I probably will in the next couple of days, change my hair. But ever so often you need to kind of go back to that little comfort space in the way that you wear your hair, if you so please. I mean, I feel like everybody has that comfort space, whether it's hair and the way you do your nails and the way you do your makeup and the lack of makeup, or more sleep, less sleep, whatever it is that feels like a homecoming to yourself. I think it's important, you know. There's beauty in that too. There's beauty in being witnessed in your most familiar self. Not polished, not trend-driven, just, you know, real. Raw and real. So I'll say it again, you know, hair holds memory, but we get to decide what memories we carry forward, what styles we revive, and what energy we keep, because hair is energy. I choose this one because it reminds me of my mother's hands and my younger self's joy. And right now, that's exactly who I want to be. This isn't just a wash and a blow dry. It's a ceremony, a small defiance in a world that often rushes us past our own becoming. It's a softness reclaiming its place. This is my homecoming. Thank you for watching.